Hello everyone. Today I would like to talk about the version controller system, version controlling system tool that's popular among the software developers. That is Git tool. So let's discuss. Before we coming to the topic, let's discuss about the version controllers. What are the version controllers? What is the use of it? So version controllers are are basically the software that helps software developers to work together in the same repository from around the world and work together in a project uh, from around the world uh, and keeps all the history of the project and tracks all the history of the project, and there is no a fear for the data loss, and we can retrieve data from anywhere. uh, so there is even we don't have to keep our system uh, in our hand. We can retrieve any code from our main repository, and we can work on it so with our username. And so basically it's a very useful tool for software developers, and it is necessary to code with the necessary to work with version controllers when we are doing a project, because otherwise there are many chances for errors, and we may have to we may have to when we work on a project there will be many errors, so we may have to return back to the errorless version of the software. So and there are many we have to work as a team in a project. So at that time all changes in the software developers different developers changed have to be merged into the main repository, and we have to keep all the we have to keep all the history of our project. And there are many other uses with the version controllers. So version controllers are basically popular among the developers. So that is very necessary and useful in the field of software developing. So let's discuss about the Git tool, an example tool for a version controller. Git is uh, a version controller, a decentralized version controller. So basically there are two types of version controllers. There are centralized version controller and decentralized version controller. I'm sorry for that. Centralized version controller and decentralized version controllers. Centralized version controllers uses a single common repository, and the software developers are connected through internet and work on a project. So as a small team we can work in centralized centralized version controlling system. But in the large case, in big projects, in a big team or in an open source project, we cannot use centralized version controllers. So at that time we may have to use decentralized version controllers. So decentralized version controllers means the versions of the softwares, or the source code is stored in the local machine of the developer, of each developers, and they can work on their local machine. And after that their changes are completed, they can push or commit their changes into the main repository. So there is no chance of data loss, and there are many use with that decentralized version controllers. So decentralized version controllers are the best. Uh, Best. It is better more than centralized version controllers. So Git is basically a decentralized version controllers that stores our source code and changes in our local machine, and we can the concept of the Git tool is to make the software development or a project development easy. So Git tool, there are many commands in Git tool. So if we first we have to configure uh, we have to configure our Git tool with our username and email address that we use in a repository, in a server repository. So with that, we can configure our Git, and we have to initialize the Git on our project to add that project into the Git. And after that, we have to, when we make our changes in the software in many files, we have to add that to the for the before committing it. And we can add whole project by git add all hyphen hyphen all, or otherwise we can add with specifying the file names. So after that, we have to commit with the message, with that commit that code with the message. So every commit will have a unique id, and with that unique id we can check out to any commit changes. So if we created a version uh, with a commit, and if if you want to go to the uh, go back to the another version, that the before versions of the software, we can go back to that with and by entering commit id, and we can enter into the old version of the software, and we can check out to any uh, versions of the software. And if we make an error, we in the software, and we have if we want to clear that, and we have to go back to the old errorless version, we can go with the commit ids. And there are many other uses for the git. So basically, the git and version controller tools I have mentioned here, the basics of the version controllers and git I have mentioned here. So you can study about that by researching through internet. So all the documentations are available. So git is a very useful software that in the developing field, it is a very useful software that we can use in the software development field. So we have to use that, and it is a standard way of coding. It's a professional way of coding by using the git tool. So version controllers are important. So this is all about my topic. Thank you.